Overcoming being selfish. Someone commented on one of my videos, and the idea of what they told me was they thought they're a good person, but then they started to notice they were selfish. Basically, I broke it down. How to accept and be better is what this person asked me, as well as they think they're playing a victim, and to not lie to yourself and just basically overcome being a selfish person. I can only talk from self-experience, of course, so anything that I say, hopefully I can dissect this as good as possible. First off, it depends what you're being selfish about, because you could be selfish in a good way or a bad way. For example, I can be prioritizing myself into someone else's perspective. That might be selfish because I'm not giving them my time or as much as my time, but I can be good with myself. I can be trying to make myself happy, but someone else might see it as selfishness, and this is why I'm saying being selfish can either be good or bad. It really just depends on the way you're being selfish. But another thing is, now like I said in the beginning, it depends about what you're being selfish about. But understand, especially when it comes to being selfish, most of the time when we think of selfishness, we think of hurting someone. And understand, you're going to hurt people in life, and you're not going to be perfect. You're going to disappoint people. You're going to fall short of others. And the most important thing here is to be self-aware of it. Understand, especially if you're doing it not on purpose, be very self-aware of it. Of course, if you're doing it on purpose, you know what you're doing. So, but being aware of it if you're not doing it on purpose and to fix, and that will help you to fix it. By being aware, you can kind of dissect what you're doing, and you can kind of get an idea of what to change or what to stop doing. Understand, and I guess this kind of goes into play with being selfish, because I mean, most of the time when we're a selfish person, there's a possibility that it's due to traumatic events that have happened to us or past experiences. I think the most important thing really to understand is to stay pure and not be vengeful. If someone hurts you, at the end of the day, you don't have to hurt them back. Just because someone does wrong to you doesn't mean you have to do wrong to others. And understand, you could be selfish in a good way and not hurt people. You could protect yourself and not hurt people. As well as be aware of other people's feelings, especially if they're important in your life. Be aware of their feelings, but you can still put yourself first and be aware of other people's feelings. You can be selfish in a good way, like I said. You can be selfish with your time or maybe something else, but you can do it in a way where it's not necessarily being selfish, and it really just depends how it all comes down to it. I guess it's a lot of perspective, of course. I mean, if you're, of course, a good person, which I'm sure we all are, but we all have our different perspectives. Like me personally, me being alone, I don't feel selfish in that way. If I don't give someone my time, I don't feel selfish because I understand that I need to be good first and I need to take care of myself first before anything. And I understand that it is selfish in a way, but I don't feel bad because I'm going to take care of me before most of the people in my life. And I think that's really what it comes down to. But also, while doing that, in the process of taking care of myself, I'm not hurting other people in that process. Other people might feel away, but at the end of the day, I can't control everyone's feelings. I can't control whether or not that person thinks I'm selfish or not, because I'm taking care of me. So I think it really all falls down to perspective and just your perception of it. But what you have to understand is, especially if you're not being selfish in a bad way, but in a good way, is there's going to be people out there that maybe it might be your family, maybe it might be friends, maybe it might be a partner, and you might be working on yourself, and that might be selfish to other people. So basically, you can't make everybody happy. And there's going to be times where your selfishness might be, it might be selfish to someone else, but not to yourself. And it really just depends, but I think also, it's so hard to kind of dissect this, especially because it's not like a straightforward answer or question, but it really falls down to, are you being selfish in a relationship, with family, with time, with money? Like, it all falls down into these little gaps, and it's very hard to explain it in a big manner, I guess you could say. Very, like, detailed. So I think it just really depends. But being aware is very important. Understand that. Understand that you don't have to hurt others if they hurt you. Stay pure. As well as you can be aware of other people's feelings without pleasing them or catering to them. But I think the most important thing to understand is you're going to be selfish in life. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to hurt people. You're going to disappoint them. You're going to fall short. And just understand not to do it on purpose. But in life, there's going to be times where you need to be selfish. And there's going to be times where you might not think you're being selfish, but someone else's perspective might be you're being selfish. So just understand you can't always be good. And you can't always please everyone. I think that's the most important thing.